almost half of them are missing. The rest are dead. And they're connected with either U.S. military, nuclear, or aerospace research.
I mean, when you have a general like this, I think that's the most concerning right here, the fact that he left with his only his gun and left his cell phone. This is a guy that says, I'm not wanting to be tracked right now. So they got to provide some type of update to the public, or they'll keep putting it together themselves.
I wonder if there's going to end up being more than 11. And the other thing is, one of those interactions was, if you find a text message back and forth to a friend, if you find that someone says, I killed myself, it's not true. If they say I killed somebody, that's not true. So why would someone in the prime of their lives, in the middle of a fantastic career, be writing to a friend of theirs that if someone finds that I'm missing? I've never texted that in my life. So they knew, some of these people knew or felt the pressure.
We are in some crazy times right now. 11 or more, I think it's 12 scientists have gone missing or disappeared, right? One woman that had disappeared, Amy Eskridge, I believe. One of the things she talks about is humans coming back from the future. This kind of goes along with what I've been talking about on this channel for a while now, that there is going to be a disaster, a 2012 event. If you've seen the movie, there's going to be a 2012 event. Pole shifts, sinkholes, earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis, civilization being wiped out. And this is very well known by the elite.
Kilometers from Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch, which is known to have an 8,000 square foot underground level and is rumored to lead even deeper underground. According to several prominent scientists who Jeffrey Epstein had as guests, Epstein hoped to seed the human race after a cataclysm by impregnating 20 women at a time at the Zorro Ranch. According to Bajorkness, the Kabbalistic teachings include a geocentric model of the Earth with an underworld that extends 7 levels beneath the surface, where a reptilian species lives. These legends foretell a cleansing of the Earth when everyone on the surface will perish, and only those in the underworld will survive. High-level Freemasons allegedly believe in a hollow Earth, where a non-human species rule from an underworld called Agartha.
Very well known by a lot of people. If you do the research, look up the Adam and Eve story.
They say the CIA hid a doomsday book for 50 years, a book claiming Earth resets itself every 6,000 years with earthquakes, 1,000-mile-per-hour winds, and mile-high tsunamis. It's called the Adam and Eve story.
A lot of people follow these breadcrumbs and they learn the reality. They learn the truth about this reality, and that truth is, just like even in the days of Noah, just like with these floods from every culture, this planet is on a cycle. It's always resetting. So it'll have floods, earthquakes, tsunamis, volcano eruptions, all types of things to cause a reset naturally. Now, this is known by high-level officials, secret societies.
You're being told to stay calm by people already halfway to the exit. The elite exodus has begun. They build their modern arks in secret while assuring you no flood is coming. The wealthiest 1% have spent $312 billion on apocalypse insurance since 2019. Their actions betray their words. The same tech CEO who tweets about long-term prosperity has commissioned a $57 million bunker in New Zealand. The banking executive who assures market stability on television has purchased 3,200 acres in remote Wyoming. They do not prepare for temporary disruption. They prepare for permanent descent. The luxury bunker industry has grown 700% since 2020. Underground complexes with 5-year food supplies, independent power generation, medical facilities, and defensive capabilities that rival military installations. Helicopter landing pads connected to private airstrips, evacuation protocols tested quarterly. The modern nobility prepares while the modern serfs are told to wait. Invitation only. Continuity groups gather quarterly. Billionaires exchange proprietary collapse forecasts. Private communication networks independent of public infrastructure. The elite exodus reveals the prophecy they won't speak aloud. The center cannot hold. The systems are failing. The collapse approaches. Their preparation is not survival. It is secession. This is not conspiracy. This is history repeating with technological precision. The patricians abandoned Rome before the fall. The aristocrats fled France before the revolution. The party officials escaped the Soviet collapse with wealth intact. The bunkers are not being built to weather temporary storms. They are monuments to abandonment, cathedrals of betrayal. While they tell you to trust the system, they build escape hatches from it. You were not meant to know this. The private jets with predetermined evacuation routes, the stockpiled medicines unavailable to the public, the intelligence briefings they receive while feeding you comforting lies. They are not preparing for the end of the world. They are preparing for the end of your world. The question isn't whether they believe collapse is coming. The question is why they want you to believe it isn't.
I'll tell you what's going on. We are strangling you to pull the last bit of money out of you while we still can. And then we're going to leave. And if you think I'm not leaving, what the fuck do you think I'm doing in Marbella, Spain right now? I'm scouting properties, motherfuckers. We're going to wring you of the last bit of shit that you fucking have. Living paycheck to paycheck? Great, that's what we want. Medicare? We're going to take it. Social Security? We're taking it. We're privatizing it. We're taking it. You're not going to get any of it. This is not an entitlement. This is something that you've paid into. It's a forced contribution your entire life so that the government can take care of you when you're older. And it works great, but we don't care. We're going to take it. Anytime there's a Republican guy in there, he's our guy, just so you know. If you haven't figured that out, you're thick. Or you're psyoped. That's our agenda. We want to get a right-wing guy in there. We want to get our agenda fulfilled. Why do you think we want to privatize Social Security? Why do you think we tried in 2017 to privatize the post office, which works great? So we could give it to our buddies so they could make money. We want to own you guys 100%. That's the goal. Right after this, you're going to see me in London at a big conference. I'm working with BlackRock, and we're buying up single-family homes, corporatize, exploit, raise the prices. We don't care about people. I want to make money. I'm a capitalist. And if you're like, well, you're a piece of shit, you're fucking blah. It's like, I'm a tiger, man. I'm not going to change my fucking stripes. I'm going to tell you what we're doing. I'm going to tell you what's happening. I'm going to tell you where you're wrong. If you've got a friend that's walking around saying, it's the Jews. Oh, really? 1% of us, the 1% of the planet that has all the resources and wealth, we're all Jewish? Are you fucking stupid? Have you been to the Bohemian Grove and seen how many fucking Jewish people are there, or Bilderberg meeting? Or the Royal Society of London? Have you seen how many fucking Jewish people? You're an idiot. It's psyopery. We want to point you at the black guy because he's a criminal. We want to point you at the Mexican guy because he's going to take your job. We want to point you at the Jewish guy. We're going to use old psyopery and old tactics, the tactics that we used on the Knights Templars. They eat babies and they're not human. Let's go. Let's get rid of them. And go on and on and on about the fucking reptile people. It's like, dude, it's just rich white assholes. Guilty as charged.
Why are billionaires suddenly fleeing America, and what do they know that we don't? In the last 6 months, dozens of elites have quietly moved offshore, relocating assets, buying bunkers in New Zealand, or vanishing from public life. These aren't doomsday preppers. These are the people who usually cause the crisis. At the same time, U.S. agencies have gone silent on a series of threats labeled domestic vulnerability events. Translation: something big is coming, and it's not just politics. 2024 had record-breaking border breaches, missing weapons, ghost identities, and now in 2025, military chatter is spiking higher than it has since 9/11. And those drills? In March alone, 4 major cities ran nuclear readiness simulations, unannounced, perfectly coordinated. Why the sudden urgency? You won't hear it on the news. That's not their job. Their job is to keep you calm while the system prepares. Even the Pentagon has quietly raised threat levels, but won't say where. And the whistleblowers? Silenced, deplatformed, gone. Are we on the verge of a manufactured terror wave?
One of the things I should mention, or one of the things I failed to mention, is like the elites, the cabal, the secret societies. They're a part of this whole back to the future, or from the future back to the past type of thing. So these elites, these the cabal, these secret societies, they are very much aware of what is happening. I don't want to say like they're gonna stop it or anything, but briefly say like they can't survive what's gonna happen in the next few years. They need to keep restarting history or keep going back to the past to keep themselves alive and in this type of density. But the planet's going to raise higher and higher into different levels of frequency. It's a whole thing, all right? But bottom line is, the cabal, they are from the future. And Amy expresses this. We are coming back from the future to warn ourselves, and it's this whole paradox type of thing. It's so much to talk about. Like, it's really fun, don't get me wrong. Like, I could do a whole live stream on it if y'all want. But just know time travel is very much real, okay? This thing, I just remember Project Looking Glass, right? Remote viewing, for example, as well. That's a very good way. Dreams, being able to dream and experience different times of existence. There are so many levels of consciousness that we can't comprehend. But with that being said, let me show the video of Amy Eskridge talking about this. May she rest in peace. I accidentally said she disappeared, but no, she was actually on a live. Let's start off with Amy Eskridge's video really fast, and then we're going to move on to David Wilcocks, may he rest in peace, and we're going to move on to other aspects of what the truth is behind these aliens, these UFOs, this exit, getting out of this matrix, this 3D realm, because that's all they're doing. They're exposing how to exit the matrix when it comes to element 115, free energy, consciousness, aliens, who the real aliens are. I gotta tell y'all, this is going to be a doozy of a video.
So the ultra-terrestrials, I'll just tell you, the ultra-terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P-52s and the P-47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are me. They're from here, from the future. P-47 is present plus 47,000 years. P-52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's a calamity, right? So there's like a apocalypse scenario in the near future. It wipes out most of like everything, man. And there's the ones that go underground and survive, right? And then there's the ones that somehow stay on the surface and miraculously don't die.
There are machines that are capable of accessing genetic memory and unveiling what can only be referred to as the experience of awareness or existence in between the physical planes of each time or each physical life experience. Even if they are simultaneously occurring moments of transcendental nature, there is still an illusionary space where there is perceived separation, and through this there is a perceived space that is in between each existence. So what we're talking about with these illusionary spaces, you could call them wormholes. Wormholes are a way that these demonics and all that access the human consciousness.
Those who have a low vibration are constantly attempting to bridge the gap between the realm of the third dimension and the lower fourth dimension. The higher vibrational beings rarely interact with those from our realm, but when it does happen, acts achieved by these higher fourth dimensional beings are said to be like miracles, extremely coincidental phenomenons, and the lower fourth dimensional acts are more likely to be connected to demonic possession. This is due to the bridging of our realm and their realm. This can occur by using heavy drugs or death due to ritual sacrifice or occult rituals. This opens a doorway or a portal, which is a type of wormhole, you could see it as, or a pathway from one consciousness to another. Now, I've went over this before, but this is how these entities open a wormhole and enter another realm through opening this one of these portals or these doorways or a wormhole even. It's not from outer space in another galaxy. You could think of it that way, but it's more from one consciousness to another is how these wormholes and portals are opened. Now, if you're familiar with the movie Shining, I found this while watching this, but right as the Jack Nicholson character is being possessed by these entities, a doorway or a portal is opened in the Jack Torrance's character, the Jack Nicholson character, and the entities can then interact with his consciousness. And you can see up on the wall, it's the same type of wormhole with the entities. They're showing you how these entities interact with our world. And it's most likely demonic possession because the higher fourth dimensional creatures are always trying to ascend and go up. The lower fourth dimensional creatures cannot go any higher than they are, so they interact with our world or realm because that's the only type of interaction they can get. if that makes sense. So
they body jump, they do all types of things with this technology. You see, the thing is, aliens, demons, fucking tomato, right? Um, these beings have a large asset of technology. This technology is being used to access blueprints of the human DNA, map out the human DNA so that they can insert themselves in our memories to keep themselves alive. Yes, wormholes is a way that they go from their clone body from one stationary position to the next, and it's a whole thing, bro. But that is time travel. Time travel also is like remote viewing, accessing different parts of the brain that will allow you to replay, because you could do this shit too. You could replay memories. You could replay memories from your ancestors, your mom and dad, the niggas that came before you, the niggas that came before your mom and dad, your grandparents, right? Then your grandparents' grandparents, your grandparents' mom and dad, and then your grandparents' mom and dad's grandparents. Like, it's a whole thing, all right? It's all based off of consciousness. But anyway, when it comes to actual physical time travel, not just through consciousness, we do have technology like the chronovisor. I want to talk to you guys about is the chronovisor. I'm sure you've heard about that, how this little device was able to go back to the actual crucifixion of Christ. I'm not sure how true that is, but I do know for a fact there is a device like that. Like, we need to really understand. We need to really understand. I don't want y'all to understand. I want you to understand. I want you to feel it within you, within your heart, within your chest. Feel that. There is technology that surpasses our iPhones, our GPS, the bullcrap that we have been giving as normal civilians. DARPA themselves have said their technology is, 20 years ahead of us before they actually release it to the public for public access. But then they still even dumb it down. So we're not out here, going too crazy on one another, using technology to cause misfortune to other people. Even though, well, here we go with the deep fakes, people getting arrested for creating deep fake scenarios. This is in part because the entire realm is like one enormous recording device. Remember those crystal skulls that are supposedly like spread around the world to like record and shit like that? It's the same thing for human beings. We are observers. We're observing the experience. We are recording the experience to take it back to source. This is a lot. At the end of the day, everybody's going to go back to God. Everybody's going to go back to that source that we come from. That source will then disband, which is why you have universes and other, parts of the universe disappearing and going back to source. It's going to happen for human beings and all of creation too. Everything is going to go back to source, and then it's going to expand out again. A Big Bang type of thing. It's going to expand out again. And that's a lot to talk about in this video. We're just talking about these missing scientists right now and what they were on to. So this is in part because the entire realm is like one enormous recording device where the energy of each successive moment is connected to one another. And so with sensitive enough technology, these electromagnetic waves can be rewinded so as to produce the ability to look into the past. The initial technology that was developed for this purpose has been called the chronovisor.
Chronovisor, a legendary time machine from the 1950s, is shrouded in mystery. Claimed to be invented by Italian monk Father Pellegrino Ernetti, it allegedly allowed viewing past events through sound and light waves captured in the fabric of space-time. Details are murky, but the machine supposedly resembled a large cabinet with antennas and cathode rays. Ernetti, with a team of scientists, claimed to witness the crucifixion, ancient Roman plays, and historical figures. This fueled both intrigue and skepticism. However, doubts linger. The evidence Pellegrino provided, like this image of Jesus, was quickly debunked as just an image of a statue from European church. Ernetti never published details, and some claim he only said these things to try and boost religious interest. The Vatican actually passed a decree to outlaw any type of device like this from being used by the church. But why would they even need to if it isn't possible for it to exist?
The updated chronovisor. Instead of the relatively small machine which produces an interface pattern that is projected onto a small screen, as was developed in the past, the modern versions create an entire holographic projected environment that enable one to truly completely interact with the projection of the past. I'm going to pause right there because this is where you get into augmented reality, VR headsets, the Apple VR, the Google VR, bro, the Meta Quest, all that shit, bro. Like,
You guys need to understand, this shit's been happening since like the 40s and 50s, my guys. We sit here and we talk about the Earth being a simulation. It should be in a matrix. Y'all really aren't wrapping your head around how real this VR situation is. Can I tell you guys my first time escaping the matrix, actually? It was a meditation that I think I fell into sleep with. I was able to break out the matrix to the point I broke free from the VR headset, started pouring tears out because I was like, I'm finally out, I'm finally out. But the reality I was in, I wasn't even a human, and I'm not even gonna. I don't want to get into too much detail with y'all about that because not everybody here is with good intentions. I will not sit here and share my past life or current life in another parallel universe. But yeah, I'm trying to tell y'all these VR headsets are gonna get very serious. All right, we're gonna get back into it. All right, this is more of a viewing device capacity, but one is essentially projected to the electromagnetic temporal area of space and time consciously and can witness the scene from within the projection.
Sorry, hold up. I apologize for my preschool presentation of my reading, but I will say I'm fucking smacked right now. So forgive me for my reading. But the situation is still very important. It is something to really take serious. Alright, gotta make my smoothie really fast. Dragon fruit smoothie, mangoes, pineapple, banana. Y'all feel me? But listen, we're gonna finish this segment on Amy Eskridge, right? And then we're gonna get into David Wilcock. But I'm telling you, this is why these scientists are going missing. They are talking about things that are breaking reality, breaking the matrix, that's gonna put corporations out of business. It's gonna bring people together to investigate certain things. Look, we are dealing with crazies out here, secret societies that want this information secret until they deem it is worthy.
I found out that I was being physically surveilled by the following method. My ex-boyfriend and I realized that people had been breaking into our apartment while we were gone together in the same vehicle. And so like, I'm in the apartment, I'm about to go to work, and I'm like, why don't you take out the trash and scope out the parking lot and make sure it's okay before I go to work? So he goes out there and he's like, there's this weird fucking Lexus. It's like a silver Lexus. This is a shitty apartment. Like, why is there really nice Lexus in the parking lot? And it has tinted windows that are not street legal, like just totally dark, totally black tinted windows that are not possibly street legal. And so he comes back in and we're standing in our bedroom window looking at the Lexus and talking about it. And I say out loud, maybe we should walk over there later and take a picture of the license plate, because the Lexus is across the parking lot from us, but it's backed in so you can't see the license plate. Within 2 minutes of me saying, hey, we should walk over there later and take a picture of the license plate, we were still standing there at the window looking at it, talking about it. And an Eastern European looking motherfucker with a black beanie, dressed all in black, in his 50s or 60s, walked out of the apartment directly across from ours holding a license plate. And he opened the trunk of the Lexus and he took out some tools and he changed the license plate right in front of our fucking faces. And then he walked back to his apartment and he put the old license plate on the front patio and went inside, left it outside. And it was literally like, come get the license plate. I have more where this came from. Come get the license plate. And then after that, the Lexus started tailing me. And every time I saw the Lexus, it had a different license plate. It would be like Alabama plates, a different state plate. It would be random dealer plates, none of which were local, just like cardboard temporary dealer plates, none of which were any local dealers. Every time I saw it, it was different plates. It would follow me to the gas station to go get beer. I would go get beer at the gas station and that Lexus follows me. And even my ex called an Uber once. He called an Uber. The Lexus pulled out from the spot across the parking lot from our apartment, drove over to our apartment and said, hey, I'm your Uber here to pick you up. The license matched in the Uber app, but they didn't have an Uber sticker or a Lyft sticker. You can't drive Uber if you don't have an Uber sticker. He pulled out of his spot. He pulled out of his spot across from our apartment where he lived and drove over there to pick him up and said, "Hey, I'm your Uber here to pick you up." They changed the license plate right in front of our face. Like 60 seconds after I said, "Hey, we should go take a picture of that license plate." And they leave it on the patio, like, "Take it. We have more. Just take it." Like, I'm scared. I'm tired. I'm real tired. I need to disclose soon, man. I need to publish soon because it's like escalating. It's getting more and more aggressive. Like over the past, this has been going on for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And over the past 12 months, it's been like escalating, like more aggressive, more invasive, digging through my underwear drawer and sexual threats over the past like 3 to 6 months. And now I'm like, fuck, I have to publish. Fuck, I have to publish because like, it's only going to get worse until I publish. There's no way out of this. There's no way out of this fucked up situation until I publish.
Oh man, I'm out here in the darkness. My bad, y'all. It's future me. Talk about time travel. It is future me right now. I needed to go back and make an edit for this part. So in this part, I'm about to give you guys, I'm explaining UFOs. This is out of the blue the way I edit it in because I messed up my editing a few clips here and there, but I want to explain to you guys the truth about UFOs in this segment right here. And this is going to fall in line with a lot of missing persons because what they discover is like UFOs are not entirely machines. They're biological. They are organic.
So when it comes to UFOs, I'm just going to spit it out. There are craft out here that are on this type of 3D density as far as being physically, it's physical. You're able to touch it, feel it, all types of things. Those are man-made and shit like that. But when it comes to real life UFOs, like when it comes to like the real UFOs, the real flying saucers and shit, I did a live stream on this the other day. We have what's called the Merkaba, right? The Merkaba, the Star of David, you know, the this whole thing, that's where that comes from. It's your aura field, your magnetic field, or what the CIA and other scientists call your biofield. That's just a more scientific down-to-earth term for it. Or I say down-to-earth, but you know, Hindus, you know, the Eastern culture, we've already figured out, you know, what the Merkaba is. It's literally energy field, an energy field around you. You know, the human eye can't see all. The human eye can only see so much spectrum, only so much in the light spectrum. But this is where the third eye comes in, the pineal gland comes in. So when you calcify that, when you decalcify that, you'll be able to see different hues of light, different colors you've never seen before. You'll be able to see your aura just like this. And that is where the UFOs come into. If you've all seen Dragon Ball and stuff like that, basically Goku and them, when they're flying, that's their Merkaba type of thing. So here's where our flying saucers come from. There are specific meditations to activate your Merkaba light ship, which is very ancient knowledge. This is really the shit we need to be learning right now so we can escape the Matrix ourselves instead of relying on Jesus or, you know, the Galactic Federation to come save us. At the end of the day, we're our own saviors because we literally are capable of flight. We're capable of flying just like this.
You have your light ships, light orbs, scout craft, cloud craft, rainbow ships, mothership, cigar type, exotic station. This is the difference between the Merkaba light body ship and these drones.
These drones in Jersey is real. Oh my God, look, what is that, bro? Yo, the drones in Jersey is real. Look at this shit. All right, look, one. There's another one out here. Where's the next one? Oh, this one right here. Look. Oh, look. It's that glowing shit. What is it doing? Good. Oh, what's that? Oh! My camera's not focusing. My camera's not focusing. Hold up. Yo, they got my shit tricked. Oh! Aliens got my shit fucked up. Hold up.
What's fireworks? What is that? Aliens? I don't know. Where is that? You see it, right?
I'm actually,
This particular disc appeared to be in excellent condition, and because of its sleek appearance, I nicknamed it the Sport Model. The Sport Model is about 16 feet tall and 40 feet in diameter. A representation of the lights that we have on our helicopter. We are not a drone. Please do not shoot me or shine lasers at us.
Alrighty, now we are going to get to David Wilcocks.
I want you to be prepared. I want you to be ready. I want you to psychologically and emotionally prepare yourself for what will be the most stunning events you've ever seen in your entire life. That is what we're heading into. It is not going to stay like this, where people can still be skeptical and they can still be annoying and they can still say, well, I don't know if I believe any of this stuff. You will not have that luxury anymore. You will not have the luxury of denying what is going on. You will not have the luxury of being ignorant. It's become so obvious for those who are, even with possessing minimal insight, that there is something very, very crazy going on. That the world is being run not the way we were told in school, not the way you're told on television, but there's something else going on. It's dark, it's weird, it's scary. There is a monster under the bed. We're really being held back by the people who don't see this yet, and the reason typically they don't see it is political ideology and fear.
May he rest in peace. I'm going to keep saying it. Grow up, watch that, man. Never really saw an issue with it, honestly. I never tried to nitpick his information, try to call him out for being a liar. He was feeling like a really genuine guy. But April 20th of 2026, he passed away. Supposedly unalived himself. Not sure how true that is. At the end of the day, it's still a tragic thing. I know death isn't really something to be frowned upon or, demonized or whatever, but, he's in other realms right now. He's traversing the other realms. David Wilcocks has talked about black people basically being related to the Anunnaki, this galactic race. He's talked about this for a very long time, and this is one of the reasons, he had to be unalive, because that truth is going to be very important very soon. But he talks about Simeon Toko, other black people who have these extraordinary gifts because of the Anunnaki. Now, of course, I'm going to show off a few things before I get to the black extraterrestrials to show you why they target David Wilcocks, why they target these scientists. Once again, it comes to the technology, anti-gravity technology, them exposing the free energy that we have access to.
Because I am working on hover car technology right now. I'm not joking. I'm not going to talk about it until we've got something for you, but we're getting pretty close. Once we get to that point, I can talk a lot more, but several of Pete Peterson's former associates I'm working with on this, and it's very, very real. We expect that once we get financed, hopefully, that we'll have an operational working prototype within 1 year, and that we could go into mass production within 4 years, where you will have a hover car in your garage at an affordable price. And, the company that I'm working with is one of about 5 that I've been briefed on that are all working on this, and we're all in kind of like a little race with each other of who's going to do it first. As I've talked about in other videos, I'm not going to run through all of it again. There have been these declassified patents filed by a man apparently named Salvatore Pais, and they are for a device called the HAUC, H-A-U-C, Hybrid Air Underwater Craft. And it's basically a flying black triangle, and the patent describes exactly how to build it and says that it is anti-gravitic. And in the other videos I've done, we have compelling evidence that they've already built these. They know how they work. One of the designs that we have, I have schematics of it. The wings fold up like this so you can get it into the garage, because you do actually need some wings for these ionic type of propulsion systems. You're shooting an ion cannon out the back. You have the anti-gravity, but you need thrust. So the wings kind of allow you to be what they call a flux liner. You're riding the gravitational flux instead of an airliner that uses air. And because it's hybrid air underwater craft, you can also fly underwater with these at a much, much greater rate of speed than would normally be possible with that kind of a system. So I'm very, very excited about the technology that we're going to have. And again, it's been handed to us. The military has handed it to us, And as I've said before, Salvatore Pius translates as savior of our nation. Salvatore, savior. Pius, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, I'm probably mangling it. Pius means nation or country. So why would the military save our country by releasing these patents? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. We've talked about Space Force. I've done a lot of other videos suggesting that this forbidden technology is going to be part of what we're going to get. When you get into the work of Dr. Kenneth Shoulders and his amazing charge cluster technology, which is probably, it's one of the main contenders of what we're going to use to build hover cars, because you can create anti-gravity with these little things. It turns out that if you send electrical current, sorry I'm jumping around a little bit, but hang in with me. If you send electrical current down a needle and it comes off the point of the needle, you get this little ball of energy. And the ball of energy has all these very strange properties that shouldn't happen. It has way more electrostatic charge than it normally would. So it's got much, much greater energy in a much smaller package than it normally would, and it repels gravity. Plus, if you generate these charge clusters and you pass them through radioactive material, you deradiate the material. So when we start using charge cluster technology, we get free energy, because these things, if you generate a whole bunch of them, you get a lot of free energy out of it, more than it seems to take to generate, which is really true. That's just the nature of how charge clusters form. They attract more energy than it takes to make them, and then they emanate that energy. So they generate energy, they generate a gravitational pull that you can either push or pull with it, and they also are, again, deradiating radioactive material when you pass it through the material. So as I've talked about in other videos, I'm not going to run through all of it again. There have been these declassified patents filed by a man apparently named Salvatore Pius. And Salvatore Pius also patented a compact fusion reactor that's all these little needles that whirl around, which is how you make charge clusters, okay? And that is a power system you could drop in the thing. The other thing I talked about before is that the Hawk craft is like a peanut. So there's a nut inside and then a shell on the outside, and that hollow area between the interior hull and the exterior hull, there's all these little needles where they can generate the charge clusters. So you generate them and then you steer them, and by first generating them, you then point them where you want to go, and that's how you get anti-gravity. So because I am working on hover car technology right now, I'm not joking. I'm not going to talk about it until we've got something for you, but we're getting pretty close. Once we get to that.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm pretty sure my guy is not in this realm anymore. Him exposing the free energy that he is working on, the anti-gravity vehicles he's working on, no bueno.
One of the things that I learned from whistleblowers from the cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. So I really want to make sure that this gets into the film. The rules are a body of spiritual principles that they must follow in order to be allowed to exist. Now, what do I mean by allowed to exist? I mean that they are aware that there are benevolent forces that will prevent them from achieving their goals unless we give them permission. So why did they put this plan for 3 world wars on display in a book that's hanging there open behind glass in the British Museum Library of London? Because the rules state that they have to tell us what they're doing. Therefore, if we allow it to happen, we have consented to tyranny, we have consented to enslavement. Very evil people are running the planet and want to kill you. And they're trying to do that, and they're aggressively pursuing this goal right now. There are 2 lines of reality in the world. In one reality, you are believing everything that they tell you, and you can't understand why things are so crazy. Those people who want to live in that denial, they are being battered by experience, they are being battered by information, they are being battered by consciousness, and they are seeing all of these things come in to their reality, whether they like it or not. Those of us in the truth community say, we don't understand why people can't conceptualize such simple things. This is simple information. information. Why can't you understand something that's so easy? Please try to have more compassion for these people who are suffering and understand that it has nothing to do with the simplicity of the concept. The concept is very simple. Very evil people are running the planet and want to kill you. And they're trying to do that, and they're aggressively pursuing this goal right now. Anyone could theoretically be a philosopher and say, well, I don't believe this and it makes me scared and it makes me feel unsafe. But hypothetically, theoretically, maybe perhaps just in case, what if it's real? Your maturation is the awakening that you are in a hero's journey, that there is a huge villain and you better get off your ass and fight him before he kills you. That's what's so hard to understand. The alchemy of the galaxy, the alchemy of Jesus Christ, is that you will become like him. John 14:12, as I do these things, so shall you do them, and greater things. So when we're looking at the possibility of liberating ourselves from the suffering that so many people have, it ultimately comes with the understanding that you cannot die. You cannot die. You are not threatened by anything. You have nothing to worry about. And this whole entire world, as traditional as it seems to be, is actually a reality construct. It's not real. It's an illusory reality. That's the awakening. That's why people have a hard time seeing something that, oh, it's so simple. Why can't they see it? It's such an easy thing to understand. No, it's a paradigm shift. It's coming to realize that everything you ever thought was true in your life is a freaking lie. You were lied to about every single thing. There are satanic communities where everybody's in on it, and they have mind control where you don't know they did anything. And they do it so well that you can't remember that they did anything. Hypnosis is a lot scarier than I thought, and it's been used a lot more than I thought, and so many victims are not aware that anything ever even happened to them. I have a personal stake in getting rid of these things because they abused me, and I am not happy about it. And if you think this is fake and you want to laugh at me, and you think that I'm making up abuse memories and that this shit didn't really happen to me,
I really felt him at the end right there when he's talking about the targeted individuals. There goes a hawk. Nice. But him being a targeted individual is something I can truly fucking relate to because I've been on this disclosure journey since a fucking child. Elementary school, first grade, bro, all the way through high school, man. Like, I do not play around when it comes to exposing the truth about the current state of things. So, the reality is, where did this come from? What am I looking at here? I've been exposed to voice to skull and all types of things that have made me believe I was abducted by aliens and freaking just body snatched in a way. It's not good. Being a target individual is not good at all. It's not fun. It is a very scary, lonely journey. It's not good. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. Right now, we are talking about David Wilcocks. And finally, we're going to get to the Anunnaki.
The Anunnaki have maintained invisible surveillance over our planet, as well as control over how humanity develops, setting limits on our evolution and holding back our development by means of manipulation and catastrophes, including the deluge immortalized in the Bible and many other ancient myths. They still manipulate our politics and affairs via secret societies, such as the Illuminati, and the political elite, such as the Bilderberg Group. The entity is a Cthulhu-inspired instrument of cosmic destruction, but, as usual, the Mystery Gang defeats it with the help of an ancient Egyptian spear. The characters then stumble upon ancient scriptures of Babylonian mythology, which describe a planet from another dimension called Nibiru that passes by Earth from time to time. This event weakens the barriers between Nibiru and Earth, enabling the alien planet's inhabitants, the Anunnaki, to interact with humanity.
Let's look into human extraterrestrials, because that's where we got to be looking. They're going to have differences in the height and the skin color and some superficial physiological differences, but overall, everybody in this galaxy is human because, again, the galaxy itself is an intelligent super being that designed human life according to its template. In fact, most of the human beings on this planet are not local. There's a single blue-eyed ancestor that all human beings can be traced back to. The white person did not exist on Earth prior to about 10, 11,000 years ago,
because of this exchange with higher species in the time of Atlantis. That's when we started to have the first interbreeding occurring that led to blue-eyed, white-skinned people.
They don't want black people to know that they have extraterrestrial ancestry.
Right, and you were being told that black people didn't serve.
Didn't serve in the space program.
Right, and there were people from all races.
Right, very interesting. So then we found...
All right, now I'm going to show you a clip of Corey Goode also talking about these melanated extraterrestrials, but also a clip that's going to help you out to really not believe everybody you see on TV, you know?
You describe the Anunnaki.
They were typically human.
They are all going to fill the skies, and they look up and they don't see a blonde-haired, blue-eyed angel. They see a bunch of people of brown skin.
Legal deposition for the U.S. District Court of Colorado, September 26, 2022.
Yes, I did make up stories about the secret space program extrapolated off of my experiences that I told you about earlier.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So you stated in one place that you've done 3 of these 20s and backs. That's an extrapolation, that's not reality.
Okay. If y'all took about 10 minutes to read this, you will see it talks about Corey Goode, the real person, and Corey Goode, the persona that this stuff is based off of.
He also filed trademarks on Blue Avians, Secret Space Program, and 20 and back. Critics point out, if these things are real, why would you trademark them?
But at the end of the day, what they are saying is most likely true when it comes to black extraterrestrials.
Did you know a man once terrified a colonial empire because he refused to stay dead? Born February 24th, 1918, in Angola's mist-shrouded village of the Celestial Mountain, Simeon Toko was no king, no soldier, just a telegraph operator with a voice that could move crowds. But in 1949, in Leopoldville, that voice became thunder. He prayed for the Holy Spirit to break the chains of Portuguese rule. And then the impossible began. They said the blind could see, the crippled walked, the dead breathed again. Thousands followed him. The Tokoist Church was born, faith forged in rebellion. But empires don't fear armies, they fear miracles. So they hunted him, shot him point blank in the head, tortured him for decades in sunless cells, even ran him through with a tractor's blades, dismembering his body and scattering the pieces. Each time, he regenerated. Each time, his legend grew. When Angola won its freedom in 1975, Toko walked free too, preaching until his final days. January 1st, 1984, amid apocalyptic thunder, they said he died. But when they opened the coffin, nothing. No body, no trace, only whispers in the wind.
Heard, which, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. And I ended up putting it in the book anyway. The story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
Wow. And so yeah, that's where this story ends for this video.
Hopefully all this shit makes sense on why people are going missing, what really is going to get you unalived off this matrix. When it comes to actually exposing free energy and things that'll put businesses out of business, corporations out of business, that's a no bueno. When it comes to things that are going to unlock the mysteries of reality, that is a no bueno. Now, at the end of the day, I'll probably do a two-parter to this, kind of in a way, but I do want to expose more when it comes to the truth about this reality. And with that, I'm signing off. Rest in peace, David Wilcocks, once more. Rest in peace to all the whistleblowers out here. And listen, guys, stay vigilant. Keep the truth going. No, they can't stop all of us. They cannot stop all of us. All right. Once again, I apologize that it's very dark, but that's the end of this video. I do want to give you guys a preview into the next episode of whatever I'm fucking making. I don't know what the series is. It's just Elijah Spoke. I'm just speaking truth. Elijah Spoke 369, energy, frequency, vibration. But here's a little preview of what's going to happen in the next video I upload.
Often go wrong in crop circles. Some people will describe a strange tingling, headaches, or feeling rather ill.
What happens when the most advanced artificial intelligence on Earth stares into a mystery we still laugh off as a hoax? Not only did it fail to explain it, it broke down trying. Scientists fed over 10,000 images into a neural network trained to detect and categorize every type of man-made design. But when they slipped in a pattern pulled straight from a farmer's field, something unexpected happened. The system flagged it, froze, then labeled it as an anomaly beyond human logic. This wasn't random, it wasn't art, and it definitely wasn't from Earth. The formation that AI couldn't read.